Hey, I wanted to jump on to this page. I did a video similar to this on my main Facebook page, but I know that sometimes those videos get lost, and that's one of the great advantages of having a group is that you're more likely to see the video. And it was so important, I wanted to make sure that you got this message, and that is that you can absolutely control the story that you write for 2020. There is so much going on in this year, and we won't go into that, but I understand the feeling of just overwhelm and sadness or so much has happened that we feel is out of our control. And there is a lot that has happened that is out of our control. And the reality is we don't get to control all of our circumstances, but we do get to control how we respond to them. It is incredibly difficult, my friend, and very challenging, and I understand that. But allowing ourselves to be open to the truth that we do control our response, no matter how hard it might be, allows us to create opportunity to write a new story for 2020. And we have 3 months left in the year. What made me think of this is accumulation of a few things actually, but one of the things, hi Darlene, if you're watching live, type live below. If you watch on replay, please type replay below so I know who gets to see this. It kind of gives me a good idea of a couple different things. What I was thinking of this morning, again, kind of accumulation of a couple of different things, and that is that I just finished a massive goal for me for the month of September. I set a goal to run 100 miles today in the month of September. It was a mental challenge. If you didn't see or hear anything about that, I set a mental challenge for myself to run the 100 miles, and it is physically a challenge too, don't get me wrong. I almost said it again. I almost said I am not a runner, but I started telling myself I am a runner at the beginning of the month. And I've run in the past and I've done different things, but trust me, running is just like running a sprint and a workout, all right, but running distance has just not been my thing. It's not been a priority for me, so it's been a mental block for me in the past, which is actually one of the reasons why I started running several years back, and I've gone in and out of spurts, is to overcome the mental block of I'm like not a runner, or I'm not going to do that, or whatever the case may be. And I've told the story of like beautiful experience in doing a marathon a couple years back and all the things, but recently when I was spending some time with some friends, we were just talking about our challenges and like what we've done lately to kind of challenge ourselves and how that's been hard in this current environment, because the friends that I was with specifically do a lot of physical challenges, and the events are canceled, right? So we were talking about the last time we actually challenged ourselves, and I decided within a couple of days of that this was going to be my challenge. So today I completed that, and I realized that now I get to say that 2020 was the year that I ran 100 miles in a month. Now, you may never want to run a mile. That's okay. That's not the point. The point is that I rewrote a segment of my story for 2020. And I get to give 2020 a different perspective for myself. In addition to every time we do something that we ourselves perceive as hard or difficult or challenging, and trust me, I did not think running 100 miles was going to be easy. I knew it was going to be mentally hard. It was mentally hard. There was challenges even within it that I didn't expect. For example, we have friends all over the world. So if you didn't know, my home is very close to the Apple Valley. Thankfully, I was never in jeopardy for my home physically, but the air quality and not being able to run outside meant that I'm thankful that I do have a treadmill in my garage. And so that was another mental challenge to come over that. So it wasn't easy, but then having that accomplishment today, the fact that I can look back and say, add that to my list of things that were previously perceived as hard and difficult for me, and I did it. Right? And giving ourselves recognition for the things that we have done, that builds our base level of confidence. That builds our base level of strength, right? Some people might look at me and go, well, you're already confident. You're already strong. Yeah, I am most days, but we all kind of have this, I want to say level, for lack of a better word, of just like where we're at in our journey, whether it be in confidence, whether it would be in self-belief and what is capable. And so every time we do things similar to this, we get to build a little bit higher foundation. So that is the one reason why to do something physical or something that's outside of your comfort zone. For you, maybe it's learning how to play an instrument. Maybe you've always wanted to learn how to play a guitar. Maybe it's learning how, taking a cooking class that you've always wanted. There's so much stuff online now that you can do. So my point is that we get to decide, like, what's the next thing, and let's make this a thing. So like the next thing for October, right? Today is the taping of this video anyway, it's September 30th, which means October starts tomorrow, which means we have another month, another opportunity in the year 2020 to get intentional about what we want to get out of 2020. So I would encourage you to think through something that you'd like to do, not something that would be totally easy. Like, even if it's a cooking class that's online, maybe you feel really, really busy and overwhelmed right now. Maybe the challenge is starting it and finishing it, right? Maybe you're ready for true transformation and your next step is to get involved in the 12-week program that's coming up that focuses on mental transformation and, of course, helping you ditch the extra pounds and all that kind of stuff. But that's not what this video is for. But maybe that is your next thing. Maybe you've been looking for something to challenge yourself so that you can build that inner level of strength, recognize the stinking thinking that you battle with on a daily basis, learn how to replace it, and learn how to eat in such a way that allows you to be mindful of food versus distracted by food and stressed out about food. And by the way, when you learn how to just integrate it into everyday life that is a way that is sustainable, yeah, you'll ditch the extra pounds too and drop a couple pant sizes. So maybe that's your next thing. Maybe your next thing for the month of October is to walk a mile or get 8,000, start with 8,000 steps. Or maybe you've been working at home and so you're only at 2,000 and steps a day. So maybe your first thing is to get consistent with being at 6,000 steps a day, right? What is going to be your next level from where you're at? It's not comparison to anybody else. What is going to be the thing that can challenge you? And then celebrate the effort along the way, not just the end result. But when we give ourselves recognition, for example, whether it be a daily basis or a weekly basis on, hey, I did that well, or hey, I said I was going to commit to working out 3 days a week, or I was going to commit to working, or walking, sorry, not working, we all work, or I was going to commit to walking a mile a day, or whatever the case may be, and I did it. Like, it wasn't always easy. It wasn't always convenient, but I talked myself into it again and again and again, and I did it, right? Congratulate and reward yourself internally for the effort, the recognition. I've been doing some reading on the studies of the importance of internal recognition for the effort, not just the end result. But that's really kind of a separate video, so I don't want to go too far into it. But again, the point of this video is to encourage you to take back your personal power by deciding how you're going to define 2020. One of my other girlfriends mentioned the other day about how we get to write our story. And 5 years from now, do you want your story of 2020 to be that you like felt overwhelmed the entire time, you never kind of got out of it and it just kind of started spiraling downhill? Or do you want it to be, well, yeah, I kind of fell off track. We all did. It was really hard in the beginning, but I picked myself up and I got some help. I reached out. If you need a coach, you reach out. If you need to cultivate some friendships, you do that. Whatever it is that you feel in your, like that small voice behind you that says this is the way that to go in it, follow that, right? Do that thing, right? And maybe that's you rewriting your story for 2020. One of another kind of mentor, virtual mentor for me is Brooke Castillo, and she did a podcast that I had listened to probably 8 or 9 months ago now, and she talks about a similar thing in that, you know, sitting down to write a letter to your future self of where you're at now and what you're excited about for the future, and your future self as if you're already where you want to be, writing about how proud you are in this moment of the choices that you're about to make, right? That step, the taking your personal power back and taking the ownership of 2020 by focusing on one thing for the month of October. That's going to be a challenge, but that you choose to work on daily or weekly and conquer, just chip away. That was my thing. I kept saying 100 miles is a lot, right? And so I kept saying throughout the month, I'm just chipping away, got another 4 miles miles in, got another 5 miles in, got another 6 miles in, just chipping away. And there were roadblocks and there was things that I had to do to like, there was a week where it did get in my head and I did get kind of behind on what I anticipated the schedule would be. But I didn't give up. I didn't quit. I just said, okay, that means that I've got to adjust the plan. I've got to adjust not the target, not the goal, but adjust how I go about doing this, which put more challenge on me, but I got it done. And again, it's not about me because there isn't anything innately special about me that you don't also have. I have just spent the last 15 years cultivating these skill sets, and I'm super thankful that I get to teach them forward. So hopefully this little segment helps even one woman redefine the year 2020 for themselves. All right. So if you need any questions, if you have any questions, need anything, you want some ideas, you want to brainstorm, jump on a call, post below, or you can always message me and I would be glad to set up a strategy call for you and figure out what your next thing is. Right. Talk soon. Bye.